Hey there, Aries. I hope you guys are doing well. My apologies for not being able to get your initial reading out this month. I've had way too much going on in my life, and you know the story. I don't want to repeat it 10,000 times, but I am sorry for that. So let's go and get into your reading. Please show me energy for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of February, second part of February 2020. And I want to also say that this reading, consider it timeless as well. I know that we say second part of February, whatever we say, but if you come to this reading and it resonates with you whenever you watch it, and then it resonates with you, you can't control the time frame, so whenever you're supposed to see it is whenever you see it, okay? Please show me energy for the sign of Aries. Okay. So Aries, you're starting out with the Six of Pentacles in reverse here. Not sure why there's so much glare right now in this thing. Show me more for Aries. Okay. Four of Swords. One more. All right. We have the Tower coming out in reverse. So, Aries, you may be dealing with a Scorpio, heavy Scorpio energy here with the Tower in reverse, but overall what it feels like is you may have a situation where you were dealing with somebody, or some situation, could be work as well, where things were not equal. You were not being given equal footing in a situation, equal information. It may have come to an end because of that. Somebody may have also been seeking things elsewhere. But what it's telling me is that you basically went into a state of self-preservation, and I say self-preservation because it feels like some aspect of this has happened maybe more than a couple of times. So it feels like you need to safeguard yourself in a way. But what's frustrating about this is because it feels like it's coming back again, okay? Now, to get the whole, what the hell is it? Fuck is it? Mercury retrograde. I believe we're in one. There's some sort of retrograde energy here. The Tower in reverse essentially talks about situations that are coming back, okay? Situations that are still present, looming, having a difficult time letting go of. This, I don't necessarily feel that it's you coming back to a situation, but it could be somebody that you were dealing with coming back to a situation, because it feels like right now what you're doing is trying your best to be to yourself. Take time for yourself, process things in your own way, nurture yourself, and tend to things that are just for you. And then it feels like we're kind of sideswiped back into this energy. So, show me more. Yep. So you have the Four of Wands here, Six of Cups, Tower in reverse. Show me Tower in reverse. Four of Cups. Good. Yeah, so overall what I'm feeling here, Aries, situation you may have been with, the person, situation, and it feels like a person for sure. I mean, the Six of Cups is here. You have the Four of Wands. Now, this talks about stability within your home. It talks about the foundation that you've built with somebody. It could have been somebody that had stepped out of the home situation, could have been giving to other situations in their life versus you. But whatever it did was it created a disharmony in the balance of your foundation, whether it be home, whether it be the foundation of your relationship, okay? So with this Four of Swords, we're dealing with taking time for ourselves, taking time out from this situation with this person here with the Six of Cups. Six of Cups indicates somebody that you've had experiences with before in life, okay? And it's also energy that a lot of people will call soulmate energy. It's a very difficult energy to let go of. You have a very deep bond with somebody, whether it be really positive or negative. It's something that you can't shake. And it feels like you're taking a break from this person. It feels in a way that the break is not necessarily just, I'm taking a little break. Like, it feels like it's more so in regard to releasing yourself from a situation with somebody like that. Coming through with the Tower in reverse here, you have the Four of Cups. Now, the Four of Cups essentially is a card where we are saying, nope, I've had enough. I'm not interested. It's kind of like letting go of something. We're not really interested in dealing with a certain situation or a certain person. If somebody has the audacity or the balls to basically break up a connection here or disregard the I want to say sanctity, but I also want to say like the foundation of your connection, it's like disregarded. It's not equal. It's not equal give and take. And I do want to say too, this is not just a situation in regard to third-party situations. Like, that's one potential here, Aries. But if you're dealing with somebody who's not fair in regard to finances, who doesn't give their fair share, they're not showing up in regard to how you are supposed to be in a partnership. If it's not equal, 50-50, they're slacking in many ways. It's a situation where it's like you're exhausted by that. They're not giving you that reciprocity that's necessary to keep a relationship alive, keep a relationship healthy, and you may want to look at some of the things that they've dealt with as far as their childhood and their upbringing as well. I mean, it's not your responsibility to do that, but looking into it, it may give you some sort of understanding about why they do the things that they do. What kind of home did they come from? What was the experience that they had in their lives as a child? As a young person growing up in regard to relationships, in regard to money, in regard to how to handle, actual responsibilities. I'm picking up a lot of responsibilities and not really paying attention to them, shirking responsibilities here. It may have just been enough in regard to how you've been dealing with a situation where you're not really interested in dealing with anymore. Now, those responsibilities in regard to love can come out to somebody who's, they don't know how to show their love properly. They don't know how to express properly. In finances, it's not being able to reciprocate equally, Now, this card, I'm going to put it back in the deck, but it's the Two of Swords in reverse. This is breaking the silence. It's opening up communication, no longer being completely stuck in your mind about a situation. It is stagnancy and stalemate energy that's being lifted. I'm going to put that back, though. I didn't ask for it, but that may be part of the energy that's coming for some of you, okay? I mean, it feels that way if somebody's reaching out here, but the thing about this reaching out with the Four of Cups is that it's not really wanted. It's like coming back to a situation that they need to learn from, and I feel like both of you are going to learn from the situation, but for different reasons, okay? This Eight of Swords here also that was at the bottom of the deck when we shuffled, this is about being in your mind. It's about, do I trust this situation? Can I trust this person? It's kind of like going with the storyline that you already have and expanding upon it. But, the reality of it is you don't know everything. There's no way that you can know everything. And, it's going with what you know versus trying to make something different for somebody in your mind, or, trying to, be okay with going after somebody's potential, like saying, okay, well, they have the potential to change, so maybe this time it'll change. I would say go with what's been presented to you, okay? Show me the energy between the Four of Wands and the Six of Pentacles in reverse here for Aries. So you have the Ace of Wands here. No, I'm sorry, the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is about honesty, okay? It can talk about sometimes apologies. It can talk about just being very direct in your communication in regard to how you're feeling. If you feel that the best situation for you is to take time for yourself, and be away from this person, to not venture back into this, then that is absolutely your right to do that. You know, sometimes people's actions get them cut out of situations, and that's nobody's fault but their own. And it's kind of a harsh truth, but it's a truth nonetheless. And so sometimes people have to sit with that. Again, I'm also feeling like kind of like this weird energy of like how somebody has been raised or what they've known. Like maybe they were given chance after chance after chance, or maybe you've given them chance after chance. And now that's not happening, okay? The Ace of Swords is about honesty, being direct. It's also about having clarity within a situation and knowing what you want and do not want. And it's a card of cutting energy out. It's a card of not taking shit anymore, you know, not being interested in somebody, you know, not being reciprocal when it comes to finances, you know, not doing the dishes after themselves. And I know that that sounds really petty, but sometimes that compiled with like, you know, the dishes, the garbage, the bed not being made, like the shower, like they don't flush their shits. Like, you know, if you're dealing with somebody that's like a total slob or like totally like, they don't pay attention to like those types of things, it's not helpful. You know, it's not helpful. It's not easy to live with. It's not somebody that you really want to maintain things, because it's like, am I taking care of a child? Like that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up. Like, am I taking care of a child? And sometimes being cut out of situations is the wake-up call that people need for that. And sometimes that wake-up call isn't even paid attention to. They just move on to something different. But what I'm feeling here is that somebody's coming back to communicate, whatever it is. I don't even know what the fuck they want to communicate. It's not even like communication. It's like, take me back, but like not... I don't know. It feels like there's little effort even being put into that. It's kind of like just showing up. Does that make sense? Show me the Six of Cups with the Four of Swords here for Aries. So the Emperor here, okay? So Aries energy, that is your energy. Could be dealing with another Aries. Could be dealing with a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But the thing about this is, for this to highlight the Four of Swords here in regard to this person, what I'm feeling here is that this is kind of where the buck stops. Enough is enough, you know. The Emperor is a very interesting energy just because he or she, you know, it's a genderless card essentially, you know, I mean, depending upon who you're dealing with, it will be he or she or they, but, you know, basically, this is where it's saying you need to do what makes sense in your life for you. You need to take care of what is essentially most important for you. Cut out the loose ends. Cut out people who drain you. And it's kind of being your own boss in your own life. It's showing up for you. And I feel like this separation or this time that you're taking to evaluate your inner workings, how you felt about this, what's coming, what's not coming, what you've been presented, you know, that gives you the opportunity to change your direction here, Aries. And I think that that's really a positive thing, because it actually essentially fortifies you in knowing what you want. The Emperor with the Ace of Swords in regard to this situation in person, you know, you're dealing with now knowing where you want things to move, where you don't want things, like what you need in a situation. And if somebody can't provide that, then you release it. It's no fuss, no muss. Like, you cannot control people's actions or attitudes. You can't control people's growth, but you can view situations for what they are and see if they work with you. If it's a relationship experience that is not working with you in tandem, if you're dealing with somebody who's very immature, so be it. You know, that doesn't mean you have to stagnate with that energy. It's more so to give you clarity in regard to what you will and will not deal with. Show me the Four of Cups with this Tower in reverse here. So you have the Four of Pentacles here. Nice. Very nice. So, yeah, if you're saying no to this person, you mean no. You're not going back and forth. You're not waffling. The Four of Pentacles it's considered a very stubborn card. It's a card of stagnation. But in a lot of ways, too, the Four of Pentacles also talks about energy that is very sure of itself. It's very protective of what it has, and it knows exactly what it's going to get. It knows exactly where it wants to go. And it's not going to deal with people who can't commit, people who can't show up, people who can't, you know, wipe their ass. Like these like kind of shortcomings that over time become like insurmountable. No, they become too much. It's like so many shortcomings, everybody has them. But like if it's time after time after time after time, it's like, am I dealing with a man child? Am I dealing with a woman child? Am I dealing with a baby? Like, what is this? Like, get off my tits, you ate my baby. Like, that kind of energy. That's kind of what I feel. And it says to me that you're very direct in that. It's like taking this time for yourself is pretty much fine-tune that energy for you, and you're able to speak your mind with truth and knowing exactly what you want and will not deal with. Show me the 8 of Swords here for Aries. Yeah, you got the 10 of Swords here. So you're not even losing like sleep over this anymore, I don't think. You move from the 8 to the 10, like the 9 is gone. It's happened, but it's not even here anymore. It's like, I don't even want to be bothered with this. I'm willing to let it go because I know it's not something that's healthy for me. And in this time that you've taken for yourself, you have been able to cultivate, I don't want to say exactly what you want, but you've been able to cultivate at least an idea of what you do want and don't want, okay? And you're willing to move forward to a new direction. I think you're also realizing somebody, and their energy is kind of flighty, kind of back and forth, wishy-washy type of energy from somebody, and it's not something that's a good look for you in regard to stability in your own life with this person. So I think you're able to let it go. Okay, let me shuffle these just a little bit. I feel like I need to shuffle these. Okay, those are the cards that want to come out there. Interesting. So you have the 8 of Cups here, okay? Let go potion, despair, aura cleanse, soul journey, the void, wake up potion. The 8 of Cups is about moving away from situations that are no longer healthy for you, okay? You have invested in them, and they've shown you that they're not something to invest in, okay? It may have been difficult, it may have been painful, it may have been frustrating, but I feel that this situation has actually given you more perspective to yourself in regard to relationships versus just the perspective of this person or your perspective of this person. I think it helps you understand maybe where you're showing up in your relationships, where things may have kind of gotten out of whack. How we choose people who kind of present the same lesson over and over and over again for us. So it's kind of that energy. It gives you a better understanding of what you want, It doesn't mean that, the 8 of Cups walking away from a situation is hard. Of course it's hard, especially when you put a fair amount of energy and love into this, but doesn't mean that it's the end of the world either. It just means you get to do something new. Hang on, my chopstick, it's falling. So what also came out with it was the 5 of Swords in reverse. Now, the 5 of Swords in reverse is essentially letting go of people who kind of, the way that they show up in relationships and connections, it's very immature energy. It's, they say you win the battle, but not the war. It's somebody who, they talk out of their ass. There's not much substance behind why they do things. There's not really reasons why they go around and do shitty shit. Like, they just do it, Again, it could be childhood behavior, childhood issues. You may be dealing with somebody who's very immature, but what we're dealing with here is we're walking away from situations like that. The 5 of Swords in reverse, it can talk about somebody who apologizes for their actions and their behavior, but somehow this is enough to walk away from. I will say at the bottom of the deck as well, you have the 7 of Swords, okay? That card indicates a little bit more. You have the Five of Swords, then you have the Seven of Swords. Not the easiest energy to deal with, but I'm glad the Eight of Cups is here because it says, I'm done with it, boo, dude, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I'm done with it. I'm not interested in that. You know, I don't want to spend my time thinking about that. I'm willing to let it go so I can actually do what I need to do in my life. It feels like you're prioritizing yourself, actually. And I feel in a certain way this person may be used to getting their way, or they're used to second chances, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 10th chances. You know, I feel that you're kind of like saying, no, the buck stops here and that's that, you know. If you want to deal with that in another person's life, you go ahead and do that, but you're not doing it with me. Seven of Swords is a card of harsh energies, okay? It's a card where we are dealing with people who disregard us. It's a card of theft, cheating, utter disregard, essentially. This may be something that, you know, you may be dealing with somebody that has been out of jail. Not everybody's going to resonate with this reading, but, and I know not everybody's in jail or dealing with people in jail, but it just feels like you're dealing with somebody who has kind of gone through a lot of hard knocks in their own life, but they're not learning the lessons here. They're not understanding why they're going through these things. They're just kind of on autopilot, showing up and doing what they do and fucking up. And then it's like, you know, whatever, like devil may care kind of energy. Like they don't really care. They just, because it feels like they've been given into more and more and more. And they've had opportunity after opportunity, and it feels like they've kind of squandered that energy. So I think you're kind of also in a way, it's indirect, but it's direct enough to maybe teach them a lesson should they listen. Okay. Give me one more. Give me one more for Aries. Okay, you get 3. Yeah. So you have the 10 of Wands, the Hangman, you have the Hierophant. It's a pretty card. Hierophant. So Pisces energy, Taurian energy, it doesn't have to mean you're dealing with Pisces or a Taurus. Could be dealing with an Aries, Scorpio, whatever, this person, whoever they are. You know, what I'm feeling here, though, is it's like, you know, you're dealing with situations that you're tired of with this 10 of Wands. This talks about basically unloading a burden, releasing a burden. You know, I like to see it in reverse because that's really setting the message like I'm letting go of a burden. I don't think you can see that. Put that there. But here it's coming to that decision. It's getting rid of the illusions, you know, moving towards things that actually make sense to you, letting go of problems, you know, no longer upholding somebody's bad behavior because either they are a warm body in your bed and, you know, you're not going to be lonely. And like, you know, it's like, okay, that illusion's gone. I am dealing with the reality of things. I don't want to deal with you coming through with like, you're not picking up the slack. You're not taking care of your responsibilities. You're not dealing with situations. You're not honoring me. It's like all of these situations that basically I feel affect your home life with the person. They affect your value and your stability with somebody here. And it's enough here to let it go. The Hangman is about taking time to take yourself away from something. It's kind of in tandem with this 4 of Swords energy. Getting time for yourself, understanding yourself, dealing with the self, you know, yes, it's looking at other things as well within the situation, but I feel that that's already done. I feel that you've already started a while ago releasing this situation. You're well on your way to understanding more about yourself and the direction that you want to go in your life. And I feel like this silly retrograde energy has this person stuck in the wheel coming back. You know, I feel your decision, Aries, has already been solidified here. You know, whether they apologize or not. I mean, thank you for the apology, but like what's done is done and I'm done, you know. With the Hierophant here, it's an interesting card because a lot of readers, you know, will say, oh, they're coming for a second chance, a commitment to this and that. You know, they want marriage. Ugh, bleh, barf. All right, you know, I've said it in other readings just to kind of hit it home a little bit. When the Hierophant comes up and a reader says, oh, you're going to get married, how many times have you seen that card come up How many times have you been married when you see that card come up and you hear a reader say that? Yeah. So with the Hierophant, this talks about tradition. It talks about family, talks about family values. It talks about upholding family values. It talks about knowing what works for you as far as what you want, you know, regarding family and commitments. Okay. If you're dealing with somebody who is completely out of range and does not match with the energy that you want in a solid commitment, why would you venture into it? Why would you even give it second thought? And I don't think that you are. I think that this is like a replay of some strange energy that's coming back into your life with somebody who's not really living up to their potential. And they may not know their potential. But either way, that's not your responsibility. The Hierophant is also an energy of school, study. Some of you may be dealing with that as well. Some of you are dealing with situations in regard to bettering your own life, you know, that can regard to study, in regard to taking time for yourself to move forward towards new ventures in your life. We can also talk about therapy as well, you know, and sandwich right next to between the Ten of Wands and the Hangman. This is about self-reflection. It's about looking within, you know, realizing the situations that we've kind of upheld in our life, whether it just be this situation or how this kind of culminates on the whole for you, where you see a repetition in regard to how you deal with things, the potential issues that have been repetitious in your life. It's like coming to an understanding that, oh, well, maybe part of that comes from me. You know, maybe I need to seek some sort of therapy or need to communicate with a counselor. The Hierophant is also that energy. It's about religion. It's about self-evaluation. It's about guru energy, self-help, learning, you know, self-perspective here. The Hangman, the Hierophant, this is all going within. And it's a very healthy energy to end on. Absolutely, Aries. You know, and again, I think that was already set in motion, you know? And I don't think that you're necessarily having to go to a therapist because this person fucked you over so bad. It may be that, but I feel that your decision to seek out, if you are seeking out any self-help, that came from you. That came from your decision to look at yourself and how you may be showing up in your life and not, and how you could improve upon your potential. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's fucking sexy energy. I love that. So let's go ahead and clarify a bit more, okay? Yeah, taking responsibility for your own life, regardless of what people do or don't do. Awesome. Show me the show me the Eight of Swords with the Ten of Swords. You have the Ten of Cups here. Now, immediately, and the Lovers at the bottom of the deck, immediately, bam. What's coming to me right now in regard to this is there is an energy with this person that actually feels like it's a dysfunctional energy. And it basically tells me that the way that they've operated is how they feel things should go, or how they have gone is something that they've been used to. It's a lack of awareness and a lack of sight in regard to emotions and how things are supposed to be in relationships, that equal give and take, that care, that connection with somebody here. It's like they don't truly know how to engage properly. It feels like this person doesn't understand that, you know, and it feels like it kind of in the way that you may have in the past taken care of this person or given them chance after chance. It feels like that person got accustomed to that, or I keep getting this energy that they may have been accustomed to that throughout their life, and it equates to love for them. Being taken care of equates to love for them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they know how to reciprocate that energy. It doesn't mean that they know how to give back to that in true fashion, which is not equal love. It's actually taking. But here, I don't know if that person is quite aware of that. I feel that you may be dealing with somebody that might be either spoiled or disconnected from reality in regard to how relationships and actual love connections work. It feels like this person may be operating under some sort of like, I don't know, they're not 100% there in regard to how love works. And so they don't know how to show up, and they're equating the connection that they may have had with you to like love, 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 but it's take. You're receiving taking from the situation, and they're equating how they're showing up as love. Like you giving to them is love. It's a very kind of muddled thought process in regard to this. It's pretty damn selfish, but it's also very unaware. And again, I don't know if that's their childhood coming up. I don't know what type of relationships they've had. It almost feels like this person, I used to have a boyfriend years ago. All he wanted was somebody to take care of him. Like he could not take care of himself. Like the way that he showed up in his life was like the bare minimum, the bare minimum. And he wanted to be not necessarily waited on hand and foot, but like he wanted to be taken care of. And, you know, sometimes we have to spot that. Like we have to be very honest and conscious of how, that when it happens, and how much are we giving of ourselves? How much have we given? You know, are we setting this idea that we're just here to give to somebody when they're not reciprocating and they're not showing up how they need to be? Is it like a disservice to that person actually? Because it's kind of sets a message like, oh yeah, you can just keep taking, because they will. Yeah, I feel that this person equates this type of energy to love, but this is not love for you, Aries. And I feel like a long time ago you recognized that. Again, this seems like this kind of energetic boomerang. Show me the Eight of Cups here for Aries, please. So the Eight of Cups, you have the Four of Pentacles showing up. Now, the Four of Pentacles is here twice, okay, Aries? It's here, and I feel that's solidifying your decision in regard to saying no to this person. The Eight of Cups and the Four of Pentacles, this is basically saying, you know what? I'm not sticking around for anything. I'm not holding on to you. I'm done holding on. I'm moving forward. You know, I feel that you're like traveling as well. Some of you, I feel like you may be traveling, or there's some aspect of like travel as well. I know that's not for everybody, and I know that this reading isn't for everybody, but for some reason I'm feeling like travel is going to be a prominent situation in your lives coming up. And actually, that's kind of a catalyst as well in regard to moving away from this, just because this Eight of Cups is like, it solidifies the break, but then actually traveling solidifies that more. It's like bringing more of a distance between you and this energy. And it's not just you and the person, it's you and the energy. It's like disconnecting, unplugging the phone for some reason. Not necessarily actually unplugging the phone or blocking somebody. You can do that if you need to. But it's just that energetic separation that's actually presented here. And now I do want to say to those of you, for everybody here, for some reason, travel is coming up a lot right now for me. Not in my own personal life, but like in this reading. Okay, so day trip. Okay, day trip. I'm feeling like it's important for you to get distance between yourself and this person, this situation, get yourself into new surroundings. You know, where is the most grounded place near you? Is it a forest? Is it a desert? Like, where is it comfortable for you to go where you're going to have time for yourself to process and deal? I feel that that within itself is an act of therapy. It's just kind of helping you ease yourself. Okay. For the Five of Swords in reverse, you have Death in reverse. Yeah. And then the Eight of Cups again. So here we have a situation, this person coming back. The Death card in reverse indicates somebody who, you know, they're coming back. They may be sorry for whatever it is, but I think they may be sorry, but they don't know the magnitude of what they need to be sorry about. And I think that that's enough for you already, you know? So you've stepped away from it. We have the Eight of Cups here twice in this reading already, here and here. It's about letting it go. It's no longer being affected by the situation as you once were. And again, I feel some reason that it's important for you to travel or like even day trip. I'm also hearing that it's important for you to put your feet in the ground. I know a lot of you know this, but some of you don't. putting soil on your feet, your hands, being in the dirt. It actually helps to deal with depression. It helps ground you. Okay, so being in nature in whatever capacity you can that is comfortable and inviting, I would say proceed with that. Okay, do a day trip, enjoy yourself, go swimming, play in the forest. It's going to be beautiful. That's what I'm feeling. It lifts the energy. Show me the 10 of Wands here for Aries. Show me the 10 of Wands for Aries, please. So this is flying out over here on the Ace of Swords. We have the 7 of Swords, okay? We have the 7 of Swords, I believe, at the bottom of the deck a while ago. So yeah, you're done with people's bullshit, you know? And again, the 7 of Swords can indicate somebody who's a cheater, who's a liar, who's a thief, you know, but it also just can talk about somebody who's, they are just doing their own thing out there. It could be somebody dealing with jail. It could be somebody dealing with drugs, you know, whatever it is. It's somebody that is disconnected enough where they just pretty much allow their bullshit to rule versus taking somebody else into consideration. So you're done with that. C'est la vie. Fantastique. You've had enough time to evaluate it, Aries. Show me the Hangman here for Aries. Show me the Hangman for Aries, please. Okay, that's coming out. That 7 of the Ace of Swords again. Now you have the 8 of Swords. So in regard to this, you know, yeah, the 8 of Swords here, it's coming up twice for you, and the 8 of Cups again at the bottom of the deck, showing up here twice in this reading. 8 of Swords, the Hangman. So instead of focusing on this person, Aries, I urge you to focus on things that actually feel good to you in your life, okay? What are you bringing into your life that actually feels good to you? What solidifies happiness for you? What makes you feel good about yourself and your ventures and ideas? It feels like you're needing to pour more time into you, and I feel that you've already started that, and you may, some of you may be going to school, some of you may be studying, some of you may be watching YouTube for spiritual growth and self-help energy, and I encourage that absolutely. I would say meditation is going to be very, very helpful here. That energy about being in the forest or being in the dirt, whatever it is, ocean, dirt, desert, whatever it is, being out of your current situation to get a change of pace and energy is going to be very therapeutic in a lot of ways. Hang on. Yeah, it helps you alleviate these things. I feel like you have other things on your mind, though, aside from this, that need to actually take more precedence in your current situation. I feel that some of you are dealing with situations in regard to work change, into changing careers entirely. Some of you also may be needing to pay attention to potential ideas and desires as far as, like, you know, previous... We have pipe dreams sometimes, or things that end up as pipe dreams, you know, and we think about them, we kind of pursue them, we half-ass it, and then it's a pipe dream. I feel in certain ways too with this retrograde energy, aside from retrograde energy as well, but it highlights it here. If you are revisiting something in your head regarding work, regarding career change, something that you may have wanted to do in the past, or you didn't know how to do it or how to approach it, this is the opportunity now, because it's telling me that you have a fair amount of time to yourself to do this, to venture into that. You don't have to talk about it to anybody, but at least research it. Find out more about it, because it feels like that energy is supported here for you as well, Aries. And I think that you may have some positive outcomes if you do venture into something like that from the past. Not talking about a person, but like personal ventures, personal gain, like self-awareness, understanding of potential, I just keep getting like career position change or something like that, where like you can become the entrepreneur, you can become the one that is in the driver's seat, so to speak, okay? And try not to let your mind flitter and flutter all over it and worry about, oh, am I good enough for this? Can I actually have it? Like, there is possibility and positivity that's actually presented here. It's just an evaluation period in regard to what it is that you need to separate yourself from, so you can actually step into that role better. We have a lot of ties in our lives. We have a lot of things that can cause blockages, just as much as this person may be blocked in their own life. Where are you blocked in yours, which may be getting in the way of your own potential as far as like career and pursuit in that regard, okay? Show me the Hierophant for Aries. Show me the Hierophant for Aries. So you have strength. Strength, and it's a beautiful card. Strength. It's about valuing what is present in your life and cultivating that which you want more in your life, okay? The Strength card is about patience. It's about direction. It's about taming our ego. It's being patient with ourselves in situations so they can prosper and grow in the time that they are allowed to grow in. You know, it's not forcing things. It's about diligence, okay? In regard to the Hierophant, the Strength card is basically telling me that there's an energy where you need to trust yourself in regard to the direction that you're going in. There's going to be things that you're going to have to deal with as far as like, some of you, I keep getting like, you're going to be changing careers. Some of you are looking into different jobs, even if you're not like changing full career, going, you know, entrepreneurial on yourself. Like there's some aspect here where you're needing to be patient in regard to that type of growth, that type of directional change. Some of you, there's a necessity in regard to healing. You know, just as much as this person's dealing with their shit, you get to deal with your own. It may be completely different, but it's yours to deal with. So, you know, it's patience within that, knowing that the more we take steps towards changing, the more we change. I suggest meditation. I suggest going out into nature, communing with yourself, communing with nature, being kind to animals. You may want to go volunteer at an animal shelter, you know. There's some aspect here too of giving. There's an aspect of giving here that's important, giving back to those who may not be in a situation that you are, of abundance. Some of you, that may be like going to a youth shelter and volunteering your time, going to an animal shelter. It's what I'm feeling here is that there's going to be a change within you when you help others, and it's going to be different because it's not enabling, it's actually helping, okay? Give me advice for Aries, please. You have Temperance, Five of Pentacles. You have the Artist. Oh my gosh, I don't even know this card. Interesting. I think this deck has something else in it too, like an extra card. I'm going to put that here. I may be wrong, but I'm going to give you my intuitive hit. And then the Nine of Pentacles. So first off, bringing balance into your own life and knowing where to leave things in the past where they're not helping you anymore. The Five of Pentacles is walking away from situations that aren't easy to deal with. It's letting it go because we need the balance here is essential. This is about healing. It's about moving forward in your life. Again, I don't remember this card or its meaning. I don't, yeah. This is, I think, an extra card here, but this is telling me, what it's telling me is that you need to be more so engaged in things that actually bring you happiness, bring change in your life, creativity. Whatever creative muse is important for you, please use it, whether that be music. Oh God, I don't want to say that. I'm going to say it. For some of you, that may be smoking pot. I don't know why I'm saying that because I don't want to like promote drug use, but like sometimes a little bit of pot actually can help you calm down, or it fuzzies the barriers. Forever, whomever that's for, so be it. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. I think it's diligence towards the directions you want, but you get to be the creator here, you guys. You get to be the creator in your situation. The Nine of Pentacles talks about a lot of success, but it's success that you bring in your own life. It's success that you redirect your energy towards, and it's yours because you create it. This is a very healthy energy. It's a healthy reading. And I think that you are going to be fantastic. So before this video cuts off, because it's about to cut off in like 30 seconds, I'm going to say thank you for coming to watch this. If you made it this far, thank you. I hope this reading was helpful to you, Aries. My apologies for not being able to get the reading out last week or 2 weeks ago. Just too much going on for me. And if you want to donate, there's a link in the description box below. And I hope that this was helpful. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Good luck. Bye-bye.